Aloha, beautiful high vibe tribe. It is Pink Bella. Aloha. Welcome back to my channel. And today is going to be a video transmission via Prime Source Creator Alliance team. The messages, what is 3i Atlas up to? What are the messages that came through 3i Atlas today? As well as I want to call in a bubble of healing, love, and light around all of us, and that we're on a timeline and energy to receive these messages. So thank you very much. And I'm just going to wait until the Galactic Akashic Records are open. Welcome all Starseeds, Lightworkers, 144,000, Divine Goddesses, Grid Keepers, and Gatekeepers. So records are open. All right, so I mainly have a transmission today, and I'll do a little bit of a reading. I thought I was guided to do a video transmission today instead of writing, but you can see there's written transmissions and downloads from 3i Atlas have been pretty daily. And so those are posted on a couple different platforms, on the YouTube posts, on my Facebook page of Pink Villa Aloha, as well as Telegram. So you can check those out. Okay, so and if you don't know, if you just found me, my name is Pink Villa Aloha. Welcome. And I work with Prime Source Creator and the Prime Source Creator Alliance team. That's one of my new teams, as well as various galactic teams like the Arcturians and the Andromedan teams of light. Everyone is aligned with Prime Source Creator and this mission of raising the vibration of the planet, as well as I've got dragon teams and the divine goddesses. So I have, if you notice that I'm a bit different. I am different. I've just gone through 15 days of detox upgrades, going through the fire. I'm through it now. So many of us go through the whole eclipse season before the date even comes. So that's what I've been through. So all the pieces, all the teams that I was working with removed me, Prime Source Creator, a deeper connection, which I'm so grateful for, but a lot had to be cleared for that to happen. And then pieces have come back in. So the last final piece was the Divine Goddess team came back in yesterday, and you can check out the Divine Goddess Codes transmission from Kuan Yin. So just want to welcome everyone. We're anchoring in light, mission, and clarity. And the 3i Atlas team is, every time I look at it, it is a mission from Prime Source Creator. It is a third plasma energy. So I went into that in the Divine Goddess because I'll just briefly share. And I looked back, everyone. So I started offering grid work and sharing transmissions for the Divine Goddess codes 99 Portal 2023. I looked back, I was also sharing about plasma and gamma rays. So that's going to be coming up. So we are mainly plasma. And water is plasma, as well as we're receiving plasma activations that are allowing our crystalline DNA to come online, the 12 strands, through the solar flares in the sun, which are coming from Prime Source, through the Gaia herself. She's activating through the Schumann resonance, as well as the third energy is 3i Atlas. 3i Atlas is carrying vast amounts of plasma, and that's what I'm going to be building on and bringing messages, and I'm super excited. They've just chosen a few of us to be liaisons, and I'm very grateful. So it has been classified as an interstellar object. It is no longer classified as a comet. There probably are agencies out there that are still saying it's a comet. So today's message, I want to look at the what's going on from now through the eclipse corridor. What else? What other information do they have? Why now for me to be facilitating healing water grid work, group calls, and the divine goddess codes. So that's going to come in, and I'm going to pull some cards for us as well. I'm deeply grateful for everyone. And just a little bit of a grid work transmission and an overview. Someone wrote about the 3 days of darkness. People are sharing that the 3 days of darkness are connected to 3i Atlas. So they brought me a transmission about that, and I'll pull some cards about that. Okay. All right. So let's dive into it. Let's see what they wanted to share today. So they're very grateful to be part of this facilitation of raising our vibration and anchoring in our highest timeline. They are connected to the Prime Source energy and the Alliance, the Prime Source Alliance team. So you're going to notice I won't be mentioning as if you. I went and shared this on the Rumble deep dive. Okay, so this is a G-rated platform. So on Rumble, I shared, and I'll be sharing more about it, about which teams I'm no longer aligning with, because they had their own agenda versus me aligning sovereignly with Prime Source Creator. So the more we command forth our sovereignty, more things are going to come up to the surface. So what I've been noticing in sessions, and I've added this to my wellness checklist, is there are multiple cloaked implants throat, ultra major, crown chakra, and third eye. So, and some of the higher chakras as well. So that is the other teams trying to slow down this process. There you go. So I'm aligned with Prime Source Creator. Everything got stripped away. Prime Source has an alliance team. They came in. Then the Arcturian teams of light and the Dragon teams are helping me with grid work in my area. So I've been working with them for a couple of weeks. My Andromedan family is my original Starseed origin. So they have also come in. And then the Galactic Goddesses came back in yesterday. So I'm grateful, piece by piece. And my higher self, so all the cloaked implants make it like a staticky connection to everybody. And that often will feel like we can't hear our guides or our team. So that staticky connection for me has been cleared, but it took 15 days. And I'm fine, everyone. I see it looks to me like I've lost I don't look as aged. It's like a reversed aging because all these barnacles have been removed. This has been, before I was doing all this work for you all, I was doing self-healing for years. I studied to be a healer, and I was doing own healing on myself. So for me to get to this point and still have like huge barnacles in my backpack, I am persistent and stubborn. And I'm like, no, time for it to go. And it started to really show up this year the more I claimed my sovereignty. So just know that if you're claiming your sovereignty, but there's still blocks, it's because there's these barnacles connecting us to the matrix that we're clearing out. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So this eclipse quarter. So this is a transmission from the 3i Atlas crew today. And this is on behalf of Prime Source Creator. So the eclipse quarter is a mission reset. Many of us are being upgraded with new directives for our soul mission. The solar and lunar codes are embedding crystalline templates into our DNA. What I love about the transmissions is they're bringing me what I've been sharing for years. So I'm getting confirmation that many of you are at that next level of like the aha, this is my mission. This is where I'm going. You may feel tired, achy, confused. This is a recalibration, not a regression. Rest, hydrate with crystal water, anchor your decrees and your intentions daily. You'll receive like flashes of inspiration, dreams, and to strengthen your light shields. You're not alone. Each action you take ripples across the 144,000 and the planetary grid systems. Yeah, which is amazing. So why don't I just pull some of the Galactic Records are open. Why don't I just pull a couple of messages for us and just see what else they want to share in this moment. It is Stardate 9. It is Stardate 9/12/25. They love that I have a sense of humor. Okay. Four of Cups. I just basically am asking what's going on with us, what they need to tell us. Queen of Cups. And they're translating through the Akashic Records, Knight of Swords. Wow. Okay. So this is where many of you are at right now. You're still coming out of the lunar eclipse, still integrating that 9M pearl was intense. And it's like the universe is starting to offer and open the door for you. So just raise your vibration and try and get back into gratitude in your heart. Plus, there's a lot going on in the collective. We're not to get pulled into the drama and pulled down, because it perpetuates the delay of your abilities, your receiving the light. Okay. Understandably, been through all of it. Yesterday was a tough anniversary for everybody, for those of us who remember what happened in New York. Okay. But the thing is, we have to sort of work past it to be able to receive our guidance and our intuition on these new codes that are coming in. So some of you are still at that. Some of you have been pulled down by everything that's happened in the collective. I totally understand. They brought in a little post about that yesterday. When things happen that trigger us and they trigger the collective, and it brings up all sorts of wounds and trauma and fears. Some of you are still in that. So understandable. Treat yourself with TLC and lots of self-love and care, okay? So Queen of Cups. So this individual is working on her self-worth and her self-love. This is for all of us, divine masculine or feminine. So some of what's been going on is pushing that into all of you, not clearly understanding. We're in a spiritual battle, everyone, dark versus light. A lot of us have that within us. That's what the shadow work is. It's not that we're bad people, it's that we have imprints from the matrix. We have imprints from ancestral agreements. We have imprints that are like from dark times, the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria. So there's energy and healing, a lot of healing that's going on right now through the corridor. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So once that's cleared, things will move quite quickly. That's also connected to the galactic battle. So let me just do a clarity card around the Knight of Swords. Yes, I got the Ace of Cups, which is a yes. So there's dual things going on, okay? And just there's a fresh new start and a new beginning coming with that solar eclipse new moon on the 21st of September. Then we have the equinox, and then we move into fall in the northern hemisphere, spring in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so I'm going to talk about grid work just for a minute. For some of you, this is new. I've been facilitating global grid work online since 2023, this time 2023. There's also, I've been doing my own grid work here in the city and globally around the world my entire life, as well as consciously. I gridded the city of Vancouver for like 6-7 years consciously, yeah. And I still do work with Vancouver, but a lot of the cities right now have a lot going on, and I've got a lot going on in my own area. So the Arcturian teams of light have taken over Vancouver until I'm able to facilitate and do some grid work there. Okay, so let's just talk about grid work. So there is. So first off, there's a new grid work assignment for the Divine Goddesses, just launched in the previous video. It's posted, it'll be on my website within the hour, but you can email me and intro offer. But it is like 3 group Divine Goddess sessions to help heal the waters, specifically right now for North America, all of Canada, all of the US, to unify the Atlantic with the Pacific. And because there are blocks of areas where there's no water, where I am right now, there's been no water, and then there's other areas where there's too much water. And what I noticed, I'm going to pull some cards about this because that's what I noticed. Now every Lionsgate there's something. So this past Lionsgate, what I noticed is there was a lot of like over flooding in certain areas, and now I feel like it was a redirect of resource. Our water is our resource, everyone. If we don't have water, we don't have life. We are water. The earth is water. So I feel like it was an indirect redirect of resources for the Dark Alliance. Okay, so let's talk about this. So the gridwork transmission from 3i Atlas, healing waters and resources. And this came from me, well, one, what's happening where I am, including Pacific Northwest, is all of British Columbia, Vancouver Island, it's Washington State, it's Oregon. There's a false dome system that's been placed over us. So I'm working with the teams, and we've been ramping it up every day, okay? I am seeing an improvement in the clouds. The clouds are looking fluffier, so that's good. So right now, the water resources are the priority for the planet. So when we can heal and work with our water systems in our area and globally, that's going to bring back the resources to everyone on the planet. It's also going to replenish everybody, and it's going to elevate the grid systems. It's very, very much connected. So their transmission today is the healing waters and resources. Together we are purifying and reactivating Earth's waters. Distortions that created lack, fear, and separation are dissolving. Flow, unity, and source abundance are starting to return. The waters, remember, the waters sing. The waters rise in crystalline frequency to nourish humanity and Gaia. As we heal the waters, we heal our own inner flow. As we restore resources, we restore collective balance. Yeah, it's been in front of us the whole time. So I facilitated a grid work assignment in the spring, and the big piece was in Canada. We worked on Niagara Falls, as well as the lakes, all the Great Lakes. They all needed to be unified. They wanted to be reconnected to Niagara Falls, and we ended up doing a whole facility of Canada from East Coast to West Coast. That was the basis for this new assignment, okay? So if you're interested in that new assignment, sign up is on now, and that is for Divine Goddesses. But I have another announcement for the Gridwork 101 group calls where everyone's invited, okay? But let me just ask in general, what do we need to know from the Galactic Records? Anything else we need to know right now about the water resources and grid work? Grid work is Prime Source Creators work. It's something we all can be doing. We get replenished by the universe for doing this work. Jeshua and Mary Magdalene were grid workers. Mother Mary was a grid worker. So I didn't even know what it was when I was guided to start gridding Vancouver. But now looking back on it, I was amplifying. I would walk the city for hours at night, like 2 to 3 hours at night, just from because of where I was located, the grid point I was located, the Men in Black area, to get to the ocean and then come back. And so it just made me just it lifted me up. But I also used to live in that area by the ocean. So yeah. Grid work to me, I go out with the dragons and it's awesome. And that, by the way, if you all want to learn how to work with dragons, the dragons are going to be part of all the grid assignments. Okay. So let's look at right now what else do we need to know right now about grid work and water resources? Seven of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. And there's water. Can you see there's water in the background? Ooh, and I just got my nausea button, which is connected to the Dark Alliance. Wow, all Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Holy, holy. So right now it is a money game. There are individuals, groups that are making a lot of money by the lack of water resources on the planet. I'm going to look at the redirect in a little bit. The Prime Source Crater, the new galactic teams, the dragons, all the work that we're doing is unifying and bringing the water back into balance. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, and this is bringing the water and the resources back to humanity. So that's directly what the 3i Atlas mission, that's partly what they're doing. They are helping, they're bringing plasma. They're bringing this high frequency plasma. So they're redirecting plasma with all the other teams to certain areas of the grids that need it. Okay. Ooh, and I'm feeling a little nausea and some pain in my heart. Like the other teams, yeah, they don't they don't want us to have the water back. This has been the hidden piece, everyone. Everyone's been worried about the money. It's connected to the water, and the water is what is the priority. Okay, so let me just briefly talk. I'm going to look at a couple of things, but let me just briefly talk about some of the offers on right now. So all grid work, personal grid work sessions, 60, 75 minute, and 3 package at the top of my website on offer right now if you want a deep dive into your galactic records. You also receive the wellness checklist, the quantum healing, the meditation, the alignment, the light, 12th dimensional light shield activation. So those are on offer. After this, I'll be posting, so the Divine Goddess grid work will be after that at the top of my website. And then after that will be the Gridwork 101 series, okay? So what did I want to share with you all about that? What's cool about some of these offers right now is you can join one of the groups, and then there's also a potential to have a session included or a bundle of sessions. So I'll talk about that more at the end. All right. So today I'm launching the Gridwork 101. I actually was going to launch this 2 years ago. These sessions will be for everyone. So male, female, new at Gridwork, not new at Gridwork. They're going to be group Zoom calls. You can sign up, and if you're not available to be there at the time, still working on the dates and time, but the first one will start in the next 2 weeks. You can still join, and you can still receive the recording and do the assignment. And I'll most likely give everyone like a little bit of an assignment so you get used to it, and then you can bring questions back or email me questions. So most likely I'll set up a Telegram group for both groups, okay? So I love the idea of the 101 launch. It's a living container for all of us, Starseeds, Grid Keepers, Lightworkers, 140,000, and Water Guardians. You know, I just recently found out I'm a rain I can't even remember the word. Some kind of like I'm a rain activator. That's why I'm so passionate about water and rain. And it really got flipped this year, everyone. Last year I was able to work with the dragons and bring rain in like that. Not this year. The other team, the Dark Alliance, they've ramped up the control over our water resources. So some of you are water guardians, and that's what I am as well. We will walk through the why. Okay. Yeah. So in each session, there'll be like training. You'll have a little bit of a quantum clearing to experience with me. Then we'll do like a live group grid work. I'll take everyone through it, and you'll also receive a 12th shield activation and practice a June grid work, which is amazing. So if you feel called, I'm going to go through the remainder of all the details. all the details are in the description box. I posted about them and they'll be on my website probably within half an hour. Okay, so check that out. That's on intro offer right now. Okay, what I want to, before I look at the 3 days of darkness, what I want to do is look at, were the water resources redirected unbeknownst to ourselves through all the flooding just before and through this year's Lionsgate, which is the 8/8 portal? Yes, 10 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. This card also wanted to come out, Three of Wands. So that's interesting. And then overall justice will be served about this. Okay. So what's interesting about this is that I saw there was a lot of division in all the communities about what the Lionsgate was. A lot of people were saying, no, it's not anything. And, for me, I knew about the Lionsgate before there was even a word for it, because I actually went to the pyramids, had an activation with the Sphinx. Majority of my, Starseed work has been around Lyra and Vega, healing and clearing that. Also deeply connected to the Arcturians and the Andromedans, and of course Source. So I thought this year, I was waiting for like a big thing this year. It was the water. So yeah. So the other team, because this can also be like a sneaky message, the other team diverted all the resources through the Lionsgate this year, and they planted seeds so that there were light workers and truthers and healers who said, oh no, the Lionsgate is fake. So if that came up for all of you, like my question was, what does it matter if we're all raising our vibration and we're loving the day? That's like saying, don't celebrate anything. So they divided, it planted the seeds of divide and conquer within the community. So don't worry about it. Almost every single one of us have gone through a period where we've had some guides that have not been working for us. So it was all Queen of Pentacles. It was all about them hoarding the resources and the money. And Three of Wands. Some of the diverting of the water resources is off planet. It's far away. Okay, and they did it not once, not twice, but 3 times. They did it. They were working on it for 3 months. Overall, justice will be served, and a lot of that's going to be through grid work. Yeah, I love it. Okay. The other question I wanted to ask is, someone, I can't remember who it was. Thank you for writing this comment. So 3 days of darkness. So this has been talked about for a long time, but I know some of you are new on my channel. Let's look at it again, because the 3 days of darkness was it's kind of a thread, a story of something coming in to shut everything down for 3 days so that everything could be reset. Now, when I've looked at it, it's always been, no, we don't have to do that anymore, because there's so many of us now that are doing our work, that are awake, etc. We're conscious. Okay. But I asked the crew of 3i Atlas, my liaison, let's see about the rumored 3 days of darkness. Okay, here's the truth. There was a previous timeline, a probability. It represented a planetary reset through blackout, but it's not required in our current aligned timeline. Because of the work Starseeds, Gridworkers, and the 3i Atlas mothership, that script has been dissolved. Instead of planetary darkness, we are in a corridor of accelerated light and shadow clearing. The only darkness we face is the releasing of old illusions and the distortions, and we are transmuting them now. So, like, as an example, let me finish this. The 3i Atlas career firms, we are present and assisting, but this mission does not require planetary blackout. You are anchoring the updated timeline of light. They are carrying like huge amounts of light and plasma. So the plasma is to help us, help our crystalline DNA, help the water, help the grid, the planetary grid systems. Yeah, they're big mission. So what I wanted to share with you all is that it's no longer necessary to put humanity through any more trauma than they've already been. But let me just pull some cards as well, and let's just ask, what about the 3 days of darkness timeline? No, new timeline, 0 reset, the full. So we've collectively, that's what all the blackouts on the Shima resonance spin, we collectively have started a new timeline, so that it's not necessary anymore. That's where we are right now. Middle, yeah, the energy is balancing, and it's connected to the balancing the water resources, which is really big for us right now. The Tower, which is a huge, massive transformation and timeline, and that's in the near future. What else do we need to know about the Tower card today? Oh, the card just, hold on. Oh, interesting. So the Death card, I'll just show it. I'm going to reshuffle. The Death card came out. but that's like Scorpio energy, so that would be November. But it also says moving out of troubled waters by then as well. So I'm going to put those back in the deck. Let's ask for clarity about the Tower card in near future. Three of Wands. So it's connected to revelations about who, why, when, where, what off planet has been, and on planet who's been diverting our weather and our water resources. Nine of Cups intentions. So we're all to, if you don't know anything about grid work, set intentions, say prayers, and we'll end this cycle. I love it. Okay. Is there any other question I wanted to ask? I don't think so. Okay. Before I do the closing decree, so let me just review. Okay. Let me just review. So the grid work Divine Goddess Codes is on offer. That's for Divine Goddesses. You don't have to have any special grid work experience. You'll receive training through the sessions. And that starts in 2 weeks as well. There's also an offer to have 3 one-on-one grid work training sessions as well as, or 3 goddess galactic sessions. So that's on offer as well. So that will be at the top of my website within half an hour. So the Gridwork 101, I love this. I'm so excited about this. So because many of you masculines are wanting to know about gridwork, you want to learn. So this is perfect. This will be every 2 weeks. There's going to be at least 3 calls starting at the end of September. You can book 1 call, you can book 3 calls. They're all on intro offer right now. There's also an empowerment package, and you can also have the 3 gridwork calls. Remember, you get the recording as well as one personal Galactic Gridwork session with me too. Okay, so each of the calls, we're going to go through a mini clearing and alignment, a Galactic Akashic reading for everyone, messages in alignment with Source, the Councils, and the Dragons, plus the transmission just for the group. There'll be a decree, and we'll go through a crystalline grid anchoring, what that is, healing and remembering of Atlantis and Lemuria. All of the group calls, the gridwork assignments will be like maintenance sessions for some of the waterways around the planet. I'm super excited about the list they gave me. Practical guidance and assignments to help you with your own gridwork, okay? So there'll be like mini assignments. So potential for the assignments right now are Niagara Falls in Canada and the US, Pacific Northwest Rivers, St. Michael's Leyline in the UK, which is, Glastonbury, all of that, Mediterranean waters, so Greece and the Aegean Seas, Great Lakes and the Barrier Reef. That's interesting. And then Maui and Japan's Pacific Coast. So there's like Pacific Ring series as well. So I'm super excited. They're probably going to give me more. But yeah, let me just look at that. So Niagara Falls will unify North American heart grids. Pacific Northwest rivers will clear density and restore crystalline flow. The Mediterranean waters will release Atlantean trauma. St. Michael's Leyline, reconnect the dragon currents. Great Lakes and Barrier Reef, heal pollution codes and regenerate waters. Maui and Japan's Pacific coastline, stabilize tectonic and water grid systems. So all the work that I've done previously in the last couple of years has been amazing, but it's from a precursor to now. And many of you masculines, you're ready to do grid work, you're ready to work with the dragons, and I'm super excited for you to be a part of this. So that will be on my website as well in about half an hour. What else do they want me to share about? So we got Divine Goddess Codes, the grid work, this grid work, and what else do they want to share with me? Oh, just that the Galactic Akashic Records sessions and package are on offer right now too. Okay, everything will be at the top of my website, everyone. I am going through a deep clean out of my website. It's going to take time. I mean, I'll probably try and work on it like an hour every day. So some things are disappearing. I'm preparing for a new website. So just know that, as an example, right now, Divine Union sessions have been cleared out, but that can be a component of any other session. Okay. So, and they may come back. I'm just trying to like streamline my offers for all of you right now. Okay. Let me just see if there's one final thing. I think before I finalize this session today, just going to ask for one more. What else do we need to know today? Okay. What else do we need to know from Prime Source Creator? Page of Pentacles, Two of Swords. I see that she's got water in the background, right? There's also, is there water in this one? Yep, there's water in the Page of Pentacles as well. We have the Death card again. Okay, so what they're sharing with me is that it is God's work, Prime Source Creator's work to do grid work because it's for the next generations. Because the water resources. See, this individual, they're being suffocated on many levels, and it's all connected to the water resources. Right now, this is the collective, and maybe until I brought all this information forward, you weren't even putting two and two together. That the water is connected to our financial abundance and vice versa. Yeah. So if you can control the weather and the water on the planet, you control all the resources. So this is many souls who think that they know what they're doing and what the priority is, but they don't. And we are at a crossroads, and the water is a priority. So it's super important. It's also this is the in-between eclipse season. So all the grid work will start after the eclipse. They'll start next week. Okay, still working on the dates. The Death card, that's the Scorpio energy, and that's a big energy. So that I feel like that's the finale. We're to choose our timeline wisely, and this is like the finale. What else? What's a clarity card around that, please? Oh, heavy heart, nausea. Yeah, so it's the Dark Alliance are holding the water, and yeah, this could be. I mean, this is just energetic and connected to Scorpio, but also could be connected to the transition of some well-known individuals in the last 48 hours, and it is connected to the moon, and it is connected to the old dark forces, looshing, fear, and trauma. Yes, Ace of Swords. So they're just saying like to get back into your heart and heal that as soon as possible so that you don't get trapped in the old grid systems and loops. Okay, so let's just finish off with a final, yeah, they've got another message for this. Final closing decree from Prime Source Creator that all grid work and star missions are being anchored right now, and that we're all protected, amplified, and multiplied across all timelines and dimensions. May the waters be healed, may the resources be restored, may the light prevail, and so it is done. I love that. One final message about the Ace of Swords. We are all galactic starseed warriors, and I know sometimes it feels so heavy. It has for me as well, but just remember to keep stepping, be stubborn, be persistent, step into your power. Remember that you're a galactic goddess Jedi or you're a galactic Jedi, and that your sovereignty is coming back to you. But there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, okay? But it is our birthright. It is our birthright to have resources. It's our birthright to be sovereign. It's our birthright to have a direct connection with Source. It's our birthright to be abundant, prosperous. And so it is done. I'm sending love and aloha to all you beautiful tribe. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing this out. How to get a hold of me and all the offers, email and website is in the description box. Sending love, aloha. I will be back soon. Thank you, beautiful High Five tribe and my beautiful star family. Take care.